Welcome to Deep Dive Learning by HaleForm. This is episode 2, and today we're getting into something specific, the SPID Duplicate Item Tag Reporting Utility. We got some info about this tool for Intergraph Smart P&ID, and it's all about finding duplicate item tags. Our mission today, unpack what it does, why it's even a thing, and why keeping data coherent is so important in plant design. We also know a bit about HaleForm Technology Solutions. They're pretty deep into Smart P&ID projects and services like that, so that context is helpful here. We'll look at the problem, how the utility works, the report it makes, basically get you the essentials without you having to read the manual yourself.
Exactly. It's about tackling that core challenge, the duplicates, seeing how this tool helps, and really understanding the output. What does it tell you, and what do you do with it? That's key for managing plant data effectively.
Okay, let's start there. Duplicate item tags. It sounds almost trivial, but if there's a whole utility for it, it must be a bigger deal. Why do these duplicates even happen in something like Smart P&ID? The documentation mentions archiving drawings and reusing tags. How does that create a problem?
Yeah, it's a pretty common situation, actually. It kind of highlights a pitfall when designs evolve over time. So imagine you archive an older P&ID drawing. Maybe it's Rep A. On that drawing, there's, let's say, a specific instrument, tag PT101, unique at the time. Now, maybe later in the project, that specific instrument gets deleted from the active design. PT101 isn't currently used, so someone might think, oh, KT101 is free. I can use that tag for a new instrument somewhere else. Seems logical, right?
Right. Recycle the tag number.
Yeah.
Makes sense on the surface.
Exactly. But the trouble starts if, say, months or years later, someone needs to pull up that old archive Rev A drawing for reference, or maybe even retrieve it back into the system for some reason. Suddenly, your overall plant database has two different items, maybe even different types of items, both labeled PT101. And that's where the coherence issue comes in, the thing the documentation stresses. It's not just messy labeling, is it? What are the actual, real-world consequences of these duplicates hanging around in the data? Why is coherence so critical?
Oh, it's absolutely critical. Data coherence is, it's fundamental for safe and reliable plant operations. Your P&IDs aren't just pictures. They drive everything: construction, maintenance, safety procedures, compliance reporting, everything. If you have duplicate tags, you're basically injecting ambiguity. Big time. Think about maintenance. A work order comes out for PT101, but there are two. Which one needs fixing?
Right. Wasted time, maybe working on the wrong thing.
Exactly.
Delays, wrong parts ordered, potentially performing maintenance on perfectly fine equipment while the actual problem persists. And in the worst case, safety hazards, absolutely. Procurement, material management, same problems. Order 2 pumps when you only needed 1 with that tag. Or the wrong type. It just erodes trust in the data. If you can't trust the tag, you can't trust the digital representation of your plant. Leads to costly errors, inefficiency. It really ripples outwards. And, this is precisely where experienced SPID administrators like the folks at HaleForm Technology Solutions add so much value setting up practices to prevent this.
That definitely clarifies the why. It's not minor at all. So enter the SPID Duplicate Item Tag Report Utility. What's its main job? In simple terms, what's it actually doing? Its job is very focused. Very specific. It acts like a data auditor, just for this one issue in your active Smart P&ID plant. You run it, and it scans the entire plant database. It's looking specifically for any instruments, piping components, or equipment that share the exact same item tag. And the result? It produces a Microsoft Excel workbook that lists out all the duplicates it found.
Okay, a dedicated detective for duplicate IDs. Makes sense. Now, for someone wanting to use this, where do they find it? How do you kick it off?
Typically, it's installed with the main Smart P&ID software. The documentation points to the Smart Plant P&ID Workstation bin folder. That bin directory is usually where executables live, so you navigate there, find the file called duplicatetagreport.exe, and just double-click it.
Okay, double-click the .exe. What happens next? Walk us through the steps to actually get the report generated.
All right, so you double-click, and a little utility window pops up. Pretty simple interface. The first really important step is clicking the button that says Connect to Active Plant. This tells the utility, okay, I want you to look at this specific Smart P&ID project I have open right now. It needs that connection.
And there's a status box mentioned. What should we be looking for there after clicking Connect?
Yeah, the status box is just giving you feedback. When you hit Connect, it'll show messages like connecting or attempting connection. You just need to wait until it clearly says something like connection successful or connected to your plant name. Don't proceed until you see that confirmation. Ensures it's looking at the right data.
Okay, connection confirmed. Status box says we're good. What's the next click?
Once connected, it's straightforward. There'll be another button, something like Create Duplicate Item Tag Report. You click that, and the utility starts its scan. It goes through the database, comparing tags. Again, watch the status box. It'll usually show progress, like checking instruments, checking piping, checking equipment.
And when it's finished crunching the data, where does this report actually land? We don't want people searching all over their hard drive.
No, absolutely. It saves it to a standard location, your temporary folder. The path is usually something like temp, and then the file name follows a specific pattern, your plant duplicate tags.xls. So your plant gets replaced with the actual name of the plant you're connected to, like my project duplicate tags.xls.
Ah, that's smart. Putting the plant name right in the file name makes it easy to find, especially if you work on multiple projects. And then I assume the last steps are just closing the utility and opening the Excel file.
Exactly that. Once the status box says the report is complete, you just close the utility window. Then you navigate to your temp folder, find that specific Excel file named after your plant, and double-click to open it.
Okay, Excel file is open. What are we looking at inside? How's the information laid out?
It's organized pretty logically. Usually you'll see separate worksheets or tabs at the bottom of the Excel file. There'll typically be one tab for instruments, one for piping components, and one for equipment. Makes it easy to focus. On each sheet, it lists all the items of that type that it found with duplicate tags. So under instruments, you'd see all the instrument tags that appear more than once. It will list the duplicate tag itself and usually some other info to help you track down the items in Smart P&ID. Maybe the P&ID drawing number they're on, perhaps other properties.
Okay, categorized by item type, listing the offending tags. That makes sense. So now you have this list. What's the action plan? How do you actually use this report to fix the problem?
The report is your roadmap for cleanup. It directly addresses that data coherence issue we talked about. You take this Excel list and you go back into your Smart P&ID environment. For each duplicate tag listed, say, PT101 appears twice. You use the info in the report, like the drawing number, to find those two items in Smart P&ID. Then you need to decide which item legitimately keeps the tag PT101 and which one needs a new unique tag. You edit the properties of the items that need changing, assign a new unused tag, and save. Repeat for all duplicates in the report. The end goal is that every single item has its own unique identifier again. Data integrity restored. And, this kind of meticulous work, going through reports, ensuring consistency, it's core to what good SPID administration like the services HaleForm provides involves.
Yeah, this whole process really underscores how vital that kind of careful data management is in Smart P&ID. And it seems like HaleForm Technology Solutions is positioned right in that space, helping ensure that integrity.
Absolutely. Like we touched on, they have experienced SPID administrators who live and breathe this stuff. The fact that a utility like this even exists shows that duplicate tags are a known potential issue that needs active management. Good admins use tools like this proactively to set up workflows. It's about preventing fires, not just putting them out, maintaining that healthy data environment from the start.
And I notice HaleForm also does things like converting P&IDs from PDF into Smart P&ID using automation. How does that connect to avoiding problems like duplicate tags? Is it about starting clean?
That's a great point. It connects directly. When you're bringing data in from a dumb format like PDF into an intelligent system like SPID, how you handle tags is crucial. Using automated tools and, importantly, well-defined rules during that conversion process, HaleForm can build in checks. They can try to identify potential conflicts or inconsistencies, including duplicate tags right at the point of entry. Getting the data right as it comes in is often way more efficient than cleaning it up later. It's about data quality throughout the lifecycle.
And they also work with Smart 3D, right? Customization, administration there too. Does that wider view of the Hexagon suite help them with SPID?
I'd say definitely. Having expertise across the suite Smart P&ID, Smart 3D gives them a better grasp of the whole plant information ecosystem. They understand how P&ID data flows into the 3D model, how inconsistencies in one can cause headaches in the other. So when they're managing SPID data, they're likely thinking about those downstream impacts too. It encourages a more holistic approach to data integrity, ensuring everything works together smoothly across the different design phases.
Makes sense. So for our listeners, if maybe this discussion has made them think about their own SPID data, or if they're curious about administration help or maybe those conversion services, how can they reach out to HaleForm?
The contact information we have is their email.business.development@haleform.com. So yeah, if you have questions about managing your SPID data, preventing duplicates, optimizing things, or exploring their services, that email address seems to be the direct line.
Okay, great. So wrapping this up, the SPID Duplicate Item Tag Report Utility. It seems like a pretty straightforward, targeted tool. It gives you a way to find and fix a specific, but potentially quite problematic data issue in Smart P&ID. Using it proactively seems like a solid step towards keeping your plant design data reliable.
It really is. And it's interesting how these seemingly small details, like just making sure every tag is unique, are actually foundational.
Yeah.
The potential for errors to cascade if that basic data isn't right.
Yeah.
It really highlights why these tools and the expertise to use them effectively, like HaleForm offers, are so valuable in complex projects.
Definitely. And it makes you wonder, doesn't it, what other kinds of data integrity gremlins might be hiding in P&ID management? Are there other tools, other processes needed? This utility is a good example of a focused fix. Hopefully this deep dive gave everyone listening some food for thought on managing their own engineering data effectively.